Hello, sports fans. This is the Bookmaker Podcast with Art Eftekhari, a.k.a. Mr. Bookmaker, your source for the sports betting industry 24/7. Sit back, relax, and listen as Mr. Bookmaker highlights what's happening right now in the world of sports. So, without further ado, here's your host, Art Eftekhari.
All right. Hello there, sports fans. Welcome back to another edition of the Bookmaker Podcast. I'm your host, Art Eftekhari. Glad you can join us. Before we begin, make sure you get to our website. You know the address, www.bookmakerinfo.com. That's bookmaker-info.com. As you know, we have all the links to the best European and Asian bookmaker sites, as well as United States-friendly bookmaker sites. Also on our website, you have easy access to the Bookmaker 101 Basics. That includes steps on how to register, bet, and how to withdraw. Our Bookmaker Guide is available to download. I'm giving you some simple advice. Learn it, live it, and love it if you want to become an expert on this whole entire online betting process. If you want to learn about the history of bookmaking and the advantages of betting online, go back and download our first podcast. It's available on iTunes. Listen to it whenever you can. Like I said, this will help you to learn the history of bookmaking as well as the advantages of betting online. Or if you want, you could download it if you are in the mood to listen to my voice. Now to kick things off, I am on bet365.com. You know the address, www.bet365.com. And on Saturday, the 27th of May, you have the English FA Cup final between Arsenal and Chelsea. What are the odds showing here? 7-2 for Arsenal, 11-4 for a draw, and 8-11 for Chelsea. Clearly, Chelsea are the favorites. They just won the English Premier League title. I do have a habit of pulling for the underdogs, but I think it's going to be Chelsea that will be lifting the trophy this coming Saturday at Wembley Stadium. Alright, it doesn't stop there. We're still on the topic of Wembley Stadium. 2 days later, on the 29th of May, that is a Monday, you have the Championship Playoff Final. And this is a game to decide who will get that last promotion spot to the English Premier League for the 2017-2018 season. As you know, Newcastle and Brighton have already been promoted. But now for the playoff final, you have Huddersfield Town against Reading. What are the bookmakers showing here? 6-5 odds for Huddersfield, 11-5 for a draw, and 12-5 for Reading. Looks like Huddersfield Town are actually favored in this one here. I think it's going to be a tough one usually for these playoff finals. It could just be a toss-up, but nonetheless, should be a very entertaining match. Now this weekend is all about the Cup finals. Now what's going on in Spain, or España? You got the final for La Copa del Rey. That'll be contested between FC Barcelona and Alaves. What are the bookies saying here on 888sport.com? What are the bookmakers saying on 888sport.com? Let's check it out. For Barcelona, the odds show here 1-7. For a draw, 7-1. And for Alaves, 15-1. Obviously, they are the heavy underdogs. We know which players are on Barcelona. Superstars such as Neymar, Suarez, and Lionel Messi. Should be a good game. Well, actually, should be an easy win for Barcelona. I think Alaves will try to find a way to win in extra time or maybe even penalties, but either way, let's go Barca. I am still actually on 888sport.com because now I'm checking out the odds for the German Cup final. That'll also be taking place on the 27th of May. No shock there. And who are the two teams in this German Cup final? You got Eintracht Frankfurt and Borussia Dortmund. What are the odds saying here? 6-1 for Eintracht Frankfurt, 7-2 for a draw, and 4-9 for Borussia Dortmund. Not surprised here. Borussia Dortmund are the heavy favorites. Kind of surprised to see that Bayern Munich are not in this final. But anyways, what about Borussia Dortmund? They still have dangerous players such as Mario Götze, Marco Reus, even the American young midfielder Christian Pulisic, and don't forget about the dangerous right back from Poland, Łukasz Piszczek. Looking forward to checking out the highlights of this game, but I think if you want to go with the safe bet, you got to go with Borussia Dortmund. All right, everybody, we are shifting gears now to the NBA playoffs. Let's see what's going on. I'm sure you remember, but a few podcast episodes ago, I gave you the advice. I said when placing bets on the NBA playoffs, the different series that were going on, I said, don't get carried away. It's going to be the Warriors against the Cavaliers. So what's going on now? Let me update you. Not only are the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals, but they have yet to lose a game so far in the playoffs. Yes, a perfect 12-0 record. They are on a mission to reclaim the NBA title. They want that O'Brien trophy so badly. But what are the Cleveland Cavaliers up to? Well, they have a 3-1 lead over the Boston Celtics. And Game 5 will be played in Boston on Thursday, the 25th of May. I'm still on 888sport.com. Once again, I'll say it again because sometimes I'm afraid of messing that up. 888sport.com. The odds here are showing 23-5 for the Celtics, 1-6 for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now look, that game is in Boston. Is it possible that Boston can win? Sure, maybe they can give the Cavaliers a tough game. But in all honesty, LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers got this. That one loss they had to the Celtics was just a little speed bump. We know we're going to be having the same NBA Finals matchup again for the third year in a row. And if you even want me to make another NBA Finals prediction right now, I think we will have the same two teams in the NBA Finals in the 2018 NBA Finals. Seriously, write that down. And before we continue, make sure you are visiting our website, bookmakerinfo.com. That's www.bookmaker-info.com. On our website, you have easy access to the Bookmaker 101 Basics. That includes steps on how to register, bet, and withdraw. Our Bookmaker Guide is available to download. I recommend you read through this at least 2 or 3 times, so that way you become an expert with this whole entire online betting process. We have betting strategies, tips on how to bet, and don't forget, we also have the A to Z sports betting lingo. Maybe you aren't an expert on sports betting, but you could sound like you are. Okay, back to me and shifting gears. Now I'm on SBOBET.com, showing some support for one of the top Asian bookmaker sites. And with this here, I'm focusing now on the NHL playoffs. First though, a quick congratulations to the Nashville Predators. They have made it to their first ever Stanley Cup Finals in their short franchise history by defeating the Anaheim Ducks 4-2. Just want to say congratulations to the Predators and also thank you, Nashville. And with that, who will they be playing in the Stanley Cup Finals? Well, it'll be either the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Ottawa Senators. And when it comes to excitement, it doesn't get any better than this because it is a Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Penguins will be hosting the Senators on Thursday, the 25th of May. Should be a good one. Make sure you watch it. And here on SBOBet.com, that's www.sbobet.com. What is the money line saying here? The payout here is showing for the Penguins 1.54 and for the Senators 2.51. Obviously, the Penguins are favored, especially when they got players like Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. You know, don't just count out the Senators so quickly. They have really good players such as one of the top defensemen in Erik Karlsson from Sweden and also right winger Bobby Ryan. He once made a name for himself playing for the Anaheim Ducks, but here he is now in the Senators. I think it'll be a good game. I'd like to see the Senators find a way to pull off the upset, but with the Penguins, it'll be so hard to beat them in their home for a Game 7. But like I said, make sure you watch it. Okay, next, going back to the sport of football, or like I said before, soccer, depending on where you are, another cup final for you to pay attention to on Sunday, the 28th of May. Now, this is the Portuguese Cup final. It'll be contested between Benfica and Vitória Guimarães. Now, with Benfica, they have some famous Brazilian players such as Luisao and even Felipe Augusto. And they even have Mexican forward Raul Jimenez. I still remember his famous bicycle kick goal a few years back in a World Cup qualifier. That guy knows what he's doing. Now, as for Vitória Guimarães, yes, they're playing against Benfica, and Benfica right now are the current Portuguese Primeira Liga champions, so obviously they're favored here. The payout here is showing on SBOBet. The payout here shows 1.35 for Benfica, 4.20 for a draw, and 9.75 for Vitória Guimarães. So yes, they are the heavy underdogs. When I was looking at the standings, though, they finished 4th place in the Primeira Liga. So I think they have a shot at making this game interesting. But either way, get to SBOBet.com and place your bet. And also on that same day, another playoff final that's going to be worth watching. This will also be at Wembley Stadium, I believe. It'll be on the same, like I said, the same day, the 28th of May. Exeter City against Blackpool. The payout here showing 2.49 for Exeter City, 3.10 for a draw, and 2.82 for Blackpool. So not a very clear-cut favorite between the two teams. I mean, yes, Exeter City is favored, as according to the odds that have been posted here by the bookmakers, but it's not that huge of a gap. So I think it'll be a good game, and it'll be interesting to see which team will make it back to League One for the 2017-18 English Football League season. All right, everybody, we are getting closer to wrapping up this edition of the Bookmaker podcast. But first, I'm on Pinnacle.com to see the latest odds for the Mexican Premier League playoff final, which those of you who are hardcore into the Mexican League know this league as Liga MX. Now, the final we played over 2 legs, and the 2 teams in the final are Tigres and Chivas. And over here on Pinnacle, if you're taking a look at this, for Chivas, it is shown as Guadalajara. So for those of you who are big on Mexican football, you should already know that. Anyways, for Tigres, the payout here shows 1.714. For Guadalajara, for the Chivas, 5.560. And for a draw, 3.790. And that, of course, is the first of 2 legs for this Mexican Playoff League final. The first leg will be on Thursday, the 25th of May, and the second leg will be on Sunday, the 28th of May. The first leg will be played at the home of Tigres, and the second leg will be played in Guadalajara. Now, for this edition of the Bookmaker podcast, I started off on Bet365.com. Now, I've gone full circle. I am back to Bet365.com. And now, in our last edition for this podcast, I was really into talking about the FIFA Under-20 World Cup that's going on right now in South Korea. It's really entertaining. You should definitely watch some games depending on where you are in the world. If you're in California, the time difference is pretty bad. Anyways, here on Bet365.com, I'm taking a look at the odds for the teams remaining in the tournament. I'm taking a look at what the bookmakers are putting here to see what their odds are, what the payout is for them to win outright. The French still the top favorite, 4-1, followed by Uruguay, 5-1, England, 9-1 favorites. Venezuela, they have been a surprise, 11-1 favorites. And before this tournament started, I remember Germany were one of the top favorites. And as you know, as games get played, these odds will be changing. So keep an eye out on this. You never know what's going to happen. And like I said earlier, Germany were one of the favorites as I remember. But now the payout here shows 16-1. This is a big surprise because with the Germans, they have yet to score a goal in 2 games. First, they lost 2-0 to Venezuela. Then they had a 0-0 draw with Mexico. But as you know, you never know what's going to happen in this tournament. Maybe they can get hot at the right time. So you might want to keep that in mind. And with that, everybody, it is time to wrap up this edition of the Bookmaker podcast. Really do appreciate the support. Make sure you are visiting our website. You know the address, www.bookmakerinfo.com. That's bookmaker-info.com. Make sure to go there if you want to have all the latest sports betting information right in front of you. Like I said before, you don't need to go to Vegas. Make sure you're staying safe, and make sure you are subscribing to us on iTunes.
This has been the Bookmaker Podcast with Art Eftekhari, a.k.a. Mr. Bookmaker. Thanks for listening. If you haven't already, please show some love by subscribing to this podcast on iTunes or Stitcher. Till next time, this is Mr. Bookmaker, over and out.